What's happening, people? It's been a bit of a strange week for me, if I'm being totally honest. I've had a bit of a bad stomach, and because of that, I've been out of routine. I'm a person of routine, things like going to the gym and that sort of stuff, food, eating, stuff like this. When I'm out of routine, everything just sort of in my head just goes to, and where I've not really been feeling that well this week, it's had a knock-on effect on everything. Sort of mentally and physically, like even work-wise, jobs which are normally like I'm on top of it. It's just been, it feels like it's taking longer, or jobs are getting dragged out, more than they need to. And it's also probably with the whole stress of silly season, trying to manage all the workload and everything, calls coming in, and when you're not feeling well, you just can't think straight, and the smallest of things can accumulate into bigger things, or feel like they're bigger things than they actually are. I'm hoping it passes. I am feeling better as we are towards the end of the week, so I'm hoping that I can hit the ground running Monday and fresh start, fresh week, and get back into things. I'll tell you the one thing that really threw me off this week. I was stuck on a job for 2 days trying to clear an airlock after I'd done a power flush. I didn't film it for YouTube because it was just a power flush job, and then the whole job was just, it was a nightmare. But I managed to get it working. I managed to get the heating hot water running. It was just a complete mess of a system. And even when I filmed it for Instagram stories and stuff, the more experienced people that were watching it, even they said to me, we have no idea what's going on here. Like, it was one of those systems where things had been, I think things have been upgraded over time, and instead of doing it properly, whoever had been there, the different people to upgrade the system, had just bolted things on to an existing old system, and it just was a complete mess. And I think that job, along with my bad belly, just wiped me out for the whole week. So yeah, it's been a bit of a strange week, but like I said, I'm hoping that come Monday I can get back on track. Now, a couple of things I want to mention. Obviously, you guys are watching this on Sunday. Unilite's Halloween sale does end tonight, and they do have some fantastic offers on at the moment. So if you are interested in getting anything from Unilite, click the link in the description, use my code UNCLE, and you'll get another 10% off everything that's already on sale. The best offers are on the MTB 10,000 and the MTB 5,000. These are 10,000 lumen lights and 5,000 lumen lights, where you can use your own power tool batteries from DeWalt, Metabo, Makita and Milwaukee. Also, Power now have got a 6-month free trial, I believe, or so 6-month free subscription offer. Don't know if it's live at the moment or if it's going live soon, but check that out as well. The link's in the description. And other than that, I hope everyone else has had a great week, and I hope next week is good for you guys as well. And yeah, let's just look forward to getting stuck back in, getting more content out there, and just getting work done. So enjoy, and I'll see you guys soon. I might as well become a HIU specialist at this rate, because we've got another PM valve that needs replacing. Let me get a bit of light out on here. This one was obvious to find because, well, it's leaking, and it's leaking. So yeah, let's get this replaced. I've ordered one. I came here last week and got one ordered. Nice expensive bit of brass. These are just shy of 400 quid, can you believe it? First things first, let's get all this drained out. So, well, I'm going to turn it all off. Actually, I'll leave that one open for now, so that I can dump the pressure in the hot taps. Yeah, that pressure out of there. I've also got to change the tap cartridge here, so the good thing is we do have obviously a main lever valve here, which, yeah, it does turn off. You just open that up to make sure there is no other pressure left in the boiler, in the HIU.
should probably shut that, otherwise it will let air in, and then I'll get a whole load of water coming back out of here. Would that be the lowest point? Would that be the lowest point? No, this is lower than the tap. So yeah, we'll leave that as it is. That's turned off now. Just shut that off and shut that off. I'm going to put you guys on the first person dingy. And I'm not going to speed it up. I'm going to do it at a normal pace so you guys can see exactly what I'm getting up to. Let's go. The good thing about this one, got all this space underneath here, and probably what I did last time, and drain it straight through the tundish. Go. Does this go back? Probably gonna have to get grips on it. There we go. Alright, that's draining out. Need to undo this nut in the vessel. There's something there. Okay. Yeah, sweet. See, now we've got all that room in here. Now the one thing I need to remember is usually, yeah, there's this little electrical section here, so let's do that first, turn that power off. You know what, let's use this as a bag. Need to remember, I've got to flip the head round on this. 2mm Allen key. I always forget, even though this is the fourth one I've done. I always forget whether it's the 2mm or the 2.5. So now I just want to spin around. Cool. That's ready to go on. Cracking some nuts. That's okay. That one is not okay. That one is okay. Go. Yeah. Good. It's hot. Right, there we go. 15 minutes when I started. Okay, let's now get the new fibre washers out. So yeah, that's how it goes. I definitely want to start these off nice and slowly. And this is the one that you want to do first after you got that one, because it's at like an angle. I struggled the first time around with this one, trying to turn it in. So what I do now is I do that, so I can turn the PM valve into that connection, get that threaded on, and now I can maneuver all the others a lot more easier. I find it this way anyway, because last time I put it all together and I struggled with that one, then I had to undo everything again in order to get that one on. So now I can tease that, persuade that to go around into there. Snookered myself in this one. Hope not. See. This clamp is all rotten and rusted. I don't know if it's going to do anything because that's held in by all the connections there anyway. That's weird, see, look, it doesn't want to go around with that one, but it's fine on all the others. Stay out of my way. This silly cable. Use the grips. I don't think these need to be mad tight either, because every time I've worked on them, they've literally come off pretty easy, except that bottom one because it was all scaled up. Yeah. Okay. No. Right. 6:20. Took me another 5 minutes to put the PM valve back in and back together. Now let's just open up the domestics. Sweet. In fact, I can open up. Can I? Yeah, because the vessel is going to be on the system side. Yeah, that's all good. We'll only get water out of there once I top up pressure in there. Right. I've turned the main stopcock off, haven't I? Fever valve. Let's turn that one. Good. We have no leaks. Hot, cold, 1230. Lovely. Alright. Let's get the vessel amp back on, and now I've got to do that tap cartridge. Just dab of silicone grease on that O-ring. Dry there. I mean, that'll tell me power's on. Good stuff. And okie dokie. Get up to about 1.5. That's good. Nothing's dripping. I thought I saw a drip, but it wasn't. It was dust. That's dropped down a bit. It always does a bit. Let's add a little bit more in. Okay. Yeah, sweet. We're done. HIU, another one repaired. Let's go. Okay, so I said it again, didn't I? Probably have to edit that out or not. We'll see. Now I'm going to be working up here today. Sorry, something's playing my headset off my phone. But my phone's off. What's going on here? Let's just close that. Right. Sorry about that. Technical glitch. Now, if you remember, I did a video on this a little while ago where I did a power flush on underfloor heating system, and then they had this old style underfloor heating thermostat and they wanted it replaced with a heat miser. I actually can't remember if I filmed it for YouTube or not because it was a power flushing job. And I know you guys don't really like the power flushing stuff. I find it boring. I find it boring, but it's a job's a job, isn't it? Now that was for this customer's rental property. I'm now here at his property to swap this. He wants me to upgrade his system here as well. So we've got the heat miser wiring center. We've got 7 zones there. On here, we've got 2 wiring centers because this one only goes up to 6 zones, but they've got 7 zones here. So that's why you've got these 2 cables here, which are these 2. So that's the landing. So there's going to be 2 loops for the landing, which is why they're just wired into one. And then this cable here I've already found is one of these 2. I believe it is this one. Yeah, look, it's pulling on that. So this must be a link cable linking this wiring center to this wiring center to act as an extension, because you've only got maximum 6 on there, and then here it looks like you can go up to 14, but there's only 1 extra in there. But the heat miser one accepts 8 zones, I believe, and we've only got 7 to do, so that's perfect. So the first thing I'm going to do, because it's been a little while since I've done one of these, I'm going to obviously whip the case open, see what's going on inside, have a look at the wiring and stuff, have a look at the wiring on there, and then just get my head around it again, refamiliarize myself with how to wire everything into the heat miser, because we also, I don't know how this pump is also wired in as well, so I need to have a look. Okay, look, that's the pump cable there. So there will be a pump cable in there as well. I remember doing all this. It will come back to me as I start taking apart and seeing the rest of it. Power's off here, so that's good. So let's just start taking this apart and then seeing what's what, and we can go from there. The one good thing about this job is everything's labeled. On the last one, the zones weren't labeled, but we've got everything been marked, and even on the actuator heads as well, they've been marked, so that makes my life a little bit easier, because I probably will have to maybe cut some of these cable ties, separate some of the cables, and then mark them myself so that I know which is which. So when I'm wiring things back in, I know that I'm wiring back into the same place. Right, so I'm just trying to get my head around this existing system. The new one It's pretty straightforward if you've wired one of these before, or if you haven't. You've got your main power in there. You've got your pump, which will go into there. That's for the underfloor heating pump. Then you've got your zones 1 to 8. So you've got 2 lives and 2 neutral terminals. You only just need to use, it depends if you've got like 2 actuators, then rather than doubling them up, you've got 2 lives and 2 neutrals you can use. This is if you're using the heat miser to also control a hot water zone valve. And this is the switch going back to the boiler. Now, that's all pretty straightforward. So let's just pop that to one side. Now on this one, slightly different setup. The thermostats were just thermostats. They weren't programmable. So there's a single channel programmer here, which I've just taken the faceplate off. That was controlling the timing for each of these actuators when you want to put the thermostats on or off. Now, what we're replacing it with is these Heat Miser Neo Air V3s. They are individually programmable room thermostats. So this is what I was trying to get my head around. We don't need this anymore. This single channel time switch is going to become redundant because there's nowhere in here to wire it in, which makes sense because it doesn't need wiring in because each of the thermostats are programmable. So this is what was throwing me initially, because we've got 1 and 4 in here, which is our switches. That is this cable here, which says external switch, and that is wired into there where it says external switch. Now over here we've got boiler B1, B2, but there's nothing wired into there, which makes sense because from what I gather, I'm not wiring anything into the heat cool enable bit because there doesn't need to be a switch live to go back to the boiler. I can hear heat circulating through this already. So what my assumption is, the heat is, because I haven't been to the boiler room, I haven't been to the plant room, I don't know how that's been set. I don't know if it's a plant room, it must be a plant room considering the size of the property. But it can't be, it must be continuously circulating through here because there's nowhere on this which is sending a signal back to a zone valve or anything like that, because that external switch is just talking directly from here to here, here to here. There's nothing here which is telling me that there's power going back to the boiler. But basically I can hear water running through the pipes and the manifold itself is warm. The pipes are warm. So that's telling me that there's an external source which is circulating heat throughout the pipework anyway. And all we need to do here is get the actuators to come on and off as and when there's a call for heat, a call for demand. So this will become redundant. The cabling here, we've got this cable here, which I've worked out is this cable there, which is that one coming out the back there. So that's providing power to this programmer. Then this cable here, which is coming off of the programmer, is basically going round, and that's this cable here. And all that's doing, it's feeding live earth and neutral to both this wiring center and that wiring center. This is our pump cable, so that's coming straight off of this pump. And that's just wired into the pump terminals, so that will just go straight into the pump terminals in there. And this is the link between the two wiring centers. So that's going to go. And then there was another cable from here, which is this, which is connected to this thing, which is invisible heating, which is part of the old system. So that's going to become redundant as well. So that's going to go, that's going to go, that's going to go, and it's just going to be replaced with this. So now what I should be able to do is basically remove that cable and wire the power straight into here. However, I'm not going to do that straight away. I'm going to keep the wiring kind of as it is, in the sense that I'm going to keep the programmer there for now, keep that wired as it is. I'm going to disconnect the cables from here. I don't want to get rid of anything until I've tested the system afterwards, and then I can just rejig the wiring for the main supply, for the main power supply. So let's mark up all the zones here, start disconnecting them from here, remove this wiring centers,
mount the new wiring center, and then start wiring things in and make a plan as to how we go along. So everything's been disconnected from there now, so that's dead. I figured out that little box that was up there, that was basically a wireless receiver for the thermostats, because the thermostats here were wireless, but they're just not programmable. So that was the receiver for them. So I've got everything out here. I've labeled all the wires so I know what's what. Luckily I can trace them back quite easily to each actuator head, so I know which one is which. So we've got bedroom 5, that's the pump. This is the switch cable, which is redundant. We've got the gym, games room. Now this is one I'm not sure about whether it's the games room or I reckon that's the cinema room, because there is no games room here that I can see, but we do have bedroom 5, bedroom 6, ensuite 5, ensuite 6, landing, and the gym. So by process of elimination, the last one is going to be the cinema room, which is most likely going to be this one here. Now I did start first writing them down on my phone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is which, but it's not going to matter, because when I rewire it, it doesn't have to go back in the same order. As long as I pair the thermostat to the correct zone, that's what's important. It doesn't matter whether I wire it into zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, wherever. As long as when I pair it up, it's paired to the right zone. That's the key part that needs to be right. But what I reckon I will probably do is I'll probably wire it in order from left to right. So we've got the gym, games room, landing, bedroom 6, ensuite 6, ensuite 5, bedroom 5. And I'll probably do it the same here. So that will be the gym, zone 2 will be the cinema room, and so on and so forth, just so that it makes it easier if I ever have to come and work on it again. I'm not thinking, oh, where's that? I know that it's in order of each of the zones here. Next step is let's get this off, this whole wiring center off, get the new wiring center mounted on here, and then I can start wiring everything in. It's all wired in. Whoever done this before made my life a little bit easier, because where we've got multiple actuators, they've wired them into terminal blocks and then just had one cable coming out of each. So it just made wiring it into these terminals a lot more easier, because I only had to wire one cable in rather than multiple cables. Now I just got to make sure we flick all these dip switches over for underfloor heating as per that sticker. I mean, number 8 doesn't matter because there's nothing wired in, but might as well do it anyway. So just to recap, power, live earth and neutral in there, pump is in there, and then zones 1 to 7 are in there, and I've wired them in order as they are on the manifold here. Now remember, there's nothing going back to the boiler, because well, you can actually see, I only just clocked this afterwards, you can see there's a temperature here already which is showing 40 degrees. So yeah, I mean that feels like 40 degrees. It's not scalding hot, but it's hot enough. And that return temperature, I mean, that's saying 30 there, but that kind of feels very similar to that. But now I'm gonna put the main cover back on, power it on, pair up the thermostats, and then we'll test each actuator. And as long as it works, then I will disconnect it, undo, that one is coming from here, yeah, so I will then probably undo that cable, remove that cable and the back plate, pull that cable out, and then wire it straight into there. Let's test it first, and hopefully it all works. Okay, let's go ahead and power it on. So pop that on. Right, that's good, we've got power there. And now let's start pairing these up. I'm going to do one of these, and then I'm not going to film all of it. And that just slides. There we go. Got some lights on there. Now the instructions are pretty clear. I've done this before. Once I do one, I get the hang of it, and then I just crack on. But Okay, so this is going to be number 1. So I want to keep that pressed for what it says until it starts flashing. There we go, that's flashing. Oh, that's gone off. You can see the signal there. So then I just got to press tick. And I believe that's set. So now in theory, if I was to turn this up, that number 1 should go red. Here we go. That's come on. Pumps come on. Lovely. But yeah, so it looks like that one's worked and that's paired up. Now I'm just going to go ahead and do the rest of them. All the thermostats are set up, and as we can see, we've got 7 red lights, which means all 7 are paired up and working. All the actuators have opened. Probably can't see. Just make for this, I've literally just put that on, so these actuators will probably take a few minutes to come on. But now that I know that's working, I'm going to turn the power off, remove this back plate and the additional wiring that's not required, and literally just take that cable, pull it out from the back there and wire it straight into here. So it just eliminates any unnecessary additional wiring. And then yeah, I think that's the end of the job. So hope you enjoyed this one, hope you find it interesting. Let's go on to the next one. Well, I haven't got another one today unless an emergency call out comes in. So I'll wrap this up and we'll be out of here.